With inflation driving the cost of living higher than we can keep up with, and student loan debt at simply record breaking levels, I have a question for you. Is $1 million enough to retire? In this video, we're putting a microscope on retirement. What are the non negotiable factors to consider? How to determine the perfect amount for your ideal retirement? Common mistakes that leave you exposed, and more. Look, y'all, this is the good one. Stay tuned. Okay, so 1 million is a lot of money, right? If you accumulate that over your lifetime, you can now officially call yourself a millionaire. And that is definitely enough to pay for your retirement. Well, maybe. It depends. You see, whether $1 million would be enough for you to retire with boils down to a few key factors. The first factor is the length of retirement. And that's because retirement at 35 and retirement at 65 looks very different. Know that the current life expectancy in the United States today is about 79 years old, which means the person who retires at age 35 will need to support themselves for approximately 45 years, while the person who retires at age 65 only needs to support themselves for about 15 years. But there's a twist. Our life expectancy continues to rise, and some live longer than expected. In fact, experts believe most people will live to nearly 100 years of age by 2050, which further puts a burden on those who want to retire early. Then there are those who actually didn't plan on early retirement but needed to retire earlier than expected, whether that's because of a layoff, caring for a family member, or your own health problems. A recent study concluded that a $1 million net worth in retirement would only last about 19 years. But everyone's situation is different, and there are a few other factors to consider before we decide if $1 million is actually enough. So the second factor is your lifestyle. What does your life look like once you retire? Are you planning to travel the globe, eat steak for dinner, buy the newest gadgets, purchase a yacht, live in a fancy condo, or join a country club? Or maybe you're not that lavish. Maybe you're a bit more frugal and plan to have a pretty simple retirement. You know, instead of Athens, Greece, you're thinking Athens, Georgia. But no matter your lifestyle, when considering how much you need for retirement, there are two types of lifestyle expenses you should keep in mind. First, you have fixed expenses. These are things such as your mortgage payment, rent, property taxes, homeowners or renters insurance, utility bills, car payments, insurance, and healthcare. Then you have variable expenses that include your groceries, your eating out, vacations, entertainment, clothing, car maintenance, house maintenance, renovations, taxes, hobbies, grooming, pets, and two that everybody forgets, gifts and emergencies. But regardless of the lifestyle you choose, you must consider if it is sustainable for your length of retirement and adjust accordingly. Now, the third factor is location. Anybody looked at how much it costs to live in California these days? How about New York City or Hawaii? You see, where you choose to retire will have a big impact on if $1 million is enough for your retirement. There was a recent study by Smart Assets that analyzed average expenses of seniors, cost of living, and investments, and found where $1 million will last the longest and the shortest in the United States. They found that retirees in New York City would deplete $1 million in 10.2 years, while $1 million will last about 32 years in McAllen, Texas. That's a big difference. Not only do state taxes play a role in retirement, but as mentioned, housing prices, property taxes, food prices, energy prices, rent, healthcare, and more also play a factor. And the prices of those things can vary from state to state. Now, before we go into our fourth factor, if you plan on retiring, leave me a comment below. Let me know if you believe $1 million is enough for you to retire. Now, I also want to know if you enjoyed the video and if I should follow this up with a video on exactly how to become a millionaire regardless of your age or your income. Once again, let me know in the comments. Okay, the fourth factor is other income. To determine if $1 million is enough to retire on, you also have to consider if $1 million is literally all you have and will have. Some will be able to supplement their income with things like Social Security, but that might not last forever because experts believe that Social Security will be depleted as early as 2034. Now, other sources of retirement income include pensions, investments, and annuities. Being able to earn while in retirement without actually working can help you last through retirement. Now, I know I said there were 4 non-negotiable factors that determine if $1 million is enough to retire, but there is actually a hidden factor, one that no one can avoid. And that hidden factor is called inflation. Inflation is literally the silent killer of savings accounts everywhere. And we have an average annual inflation here in the United States of around 3% per year, which means $1 million today would only be worth 97% of $1 million next year. You still have $1 million, but the purchasing power of that $1 million would be 97% less. Let me help you put it into perspective. $1 million today would only be worth about $554,675 20 years from now. Just take a look at the difference in cost of everyday items today compared to in the past. Look, a gallon of milk used to be 49 cents in 1960 and now costs nearly $3.50. So we know inflation is a real thing. And because of inflation, it's important that you put your money to work in retirement in ways that will grow faster than inflation and support your lifestyle, because the cost of your lifestyle will rise every single year. Failing to do so is the biggest mistake people make when saving. Now, one of my favorite quotes is $1 today is worth more than $1 tomorrow. Now, be sure to catch part 2 of this video when it comes out, where I'll show you how to retire a millionaire. Now, back to the original question. Is $1 million really enough to retire? Well, it depends on who you're asking. The real question is if $1 million is enough for you to retire with. To determine if it is, you must consider the 5 factors mentioned: length of retirement, lifestyle, location, other income, and inflation. The most common mistake people make is underestimating these factors. So keep it conservative and safe. If you made it this far in the video, do me a favor and hit that like button for me. It helps others find this video on YouTube. And subscribe to the channel for simply the best financial content you can find. By the way, let me know in the comments when you plan on retiring and if you believe $1 million is enough for you to retire with. As always, I'm Karan from Life Accounting. Until next time.